Hello there. Thank you for clicking this video. It's a Wednesday afternoon in the middle of May. Is it the middle of May? Holy crap, it's the 25th of May. Oh, it's not the middle of May. Yeah, sure. The 25th of May. Hi there, it's a Wednesday afternoon in the tail end of May. I have a very rare empty house. I have a day off. I'm home alone for a couple of days and I'm having a few beers, and I thought I would try out something that I've been just idly mulling over, considering. I want to play Arkham Horror using Tabletop Simulator. I've used Tabletop Simulator to learn how to play Arkham Horror, essentially. I don't own the game, and I thought I would just try a Let's Play of the game with a few expansions using Tabletop Simulator. I have nothing against the physical Let's Plays that are on YouTube, and there are lots of them, and they're great. I've looked at them. They helped me learn how the game works as I was going through the rules using TTS. There are a few issues with the physical Let's Plays. Things like using the phone camera to essentially record the whole thing, and that whole sometimes it focuses. I thought I would experiment with going through the game using TTS just to get that clarity of here's the board. You can see the board. I can immediately use TTS's functions to scan around. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I just wanted to give this a try. Like I say, it's a Wednesday afternoon. I'm on my own in the house for a few days. I'm gonna have a few beers, and we're gonna see how this goes. So what's the setup here? I am playing the base game of Arkham Horror. Here's the base board. I'm gonna try. This might be a bit too much to swallow as a relative beginner that I am. I'm also gonna try the. Is this Innsmouth Horror? I'm pretty sure this is Innsmouth Horror, and I'm also got the King in Yellow expansion. I've set the board up with main board here. I've placed the location decks approximately close to where they are. So the north side is here on the board, and the north side deck is there, etc. And the same goes for all the others. We have the other realms over here. Here's our adventure cards. I will be using the Madness and Injury system from Dunwich. And here's some special things. How have I set this up? I did this early today when I was much more awake and I hadn't already had a couple of beers. We have our this is an Innsmouth deck. This is the King and Yellow deck. These are going to be, because this is a board game and I can copy and paste things, I'm just going to use that. I don't have a pile of clue tokens that I'm going to be dropping. I have a single clue token, and I'm just going to copy and paste and delete them as necessary. I will be doing that a lot. Similarly, when we put our great old one down in this space here, I'm not going to use tokens to count the Doom track. I'm just going to be counting it on this counter. We have a similar counter for outskirts, just to aid in, once this gets filled with little monsters, it's easier to just look at this number. We have our gates in this bag, which I'll be able to around here. We have our monsters up here. We still have yet to pick a great old one. I have picked, you might see Patrice's name there and Daryl down here. I have already picked the adventurers in the interests of getting this video moving along relatively swiftly. I have a pot of little counters, tokens rather, here that I can use just to count up various effects. Should we dive in? I think we should. In case you are not hugely familiar with the game, we have 3 cards here. I'm hoping I won't need to use them, but just for the sake of what we are, that's not the right button. So on TTS, you can press Shift to bring up this rectangular zoom view, which is really handy, and you can press Alt on any card, and it will bring up a nice large version. So, in the interest of, if you are interested in the rules for these particular expansions, this is the general game. I think there's something on the other side as well. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, here. Relock it. Alt. More there. And this one is specific to Innsmouth Horror. And I think, let's just see what's on the other side. I'm not sure what's on the other side of this one. Oh yes, it has the rules for King in yellow, so that's useful. So, I did that simply because if you are interested in the rules, you can hopefully just pause the video you're watching. And yeah, I should also mention, my computer isn't super up to date. I've done some test videos, just short ones, and when the screen is very still, such as it is right now, the resolution is fairly, it's great. In fact, it's perfectly readable. When I start doing this, then hopefully I assume you will now be seeing that it goes very blurry all of a sudden. So if I suddenly zoom in on here, that will not be easy to read until the encoding fixes itself, which usually takes a second or so. So I'm going to try and keep moving around to a minimum. I guess what was the point? Where did I get here from? Yeah, when I was zooming in on these, I hope I gave enough of a pause for the video to render the resolution correctly. Okay, let's pick out a old one. I think I have gone through and shuffled all these. In TTS, I have no idea if I can just, for example, with this bag, if I wanted to shuffle this bag, do I press it once? Is there any difference? Is that one shuffle any better than the dozen shuffles I did there? I assume not, and it's just a little bit OCD on my part. I like to just tap a lot, but I think all of these decks have been shuffled. But yeah, maybe not. Let's shuffle the old ones, and we have Cthulhu. Cthulhu's rules. The in-game rule is going to be sweltering heat. While Cthulhu stirs in its slumber, each investigator loses 1 stamina for each movement point over 3 he or she spends each turn. Well, shit. Reading tomes does not count towards this total. Say what? Loses a stamina for each movement point over 3 he spends each turn. Reading tomes. Oh, so when you read a book and it costs you movement points to do so, as an abstraction of time, I get it. That does not count. It's actual, yeah, on the board if you're actually moving around. So if you have, say, 5 movement points, you move 3 but spend 2 to read a book, that wouldn't count. In addition, all weather cards are ignored when drawn. A new card being drawn instead. Okay, so there's a special rule I need to remember. We ignore weather cards. So we're in a heat wave. And we're going to lose stamina if we overexert ourselves. Sure. For the enemy special rules, for Cthulhu, for Wushbers, Cthulhu is worshipped by its smaller brethren. Fire vampires gain +2 toughness and deal an extra stamina as combat damage. So if we come across any fire vampires, they're going to be much more of a threat, I assume. So, for the sake of clarity on the board, let's bump the size up of this. Sure. And then we can lock this fella, and we have 13. I think 14 is the average. Again, I should clarify, I am not massively familiar with the game. I've played 1 full game to completion, it was just the base game. I've played maybe 2 or 3 half games, just messing around. So you are essentially watching a beginner play. I think I have a decent handle on the rules, but we'll see how that goes. It may be a little slow, maybe a little frustrating at start. Hopefully I won't just outright overlook too many rules, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I have picked 4 adventurers already. Because I am a beginner, I have chosen 4 what I believe are considered quite strong characters, and that hopefully that will offset just my unfamiliarity with the events that are likely to pop up and optimal plays. We have Patrice, the violinist. She has 5 sanity. I'm representing sanity in these counters rather than tokens, as I mentioned earlier, and 5 stamina, so thoroughly average there. Her fixed possessions are $2 and 3 clue tokens. She has 2 special rules. Inspiring. Any phase, Patrice may allow the other investigators to spend her clue tokens, even if they're not in the same location or world. So if I can just dump clues on Patrice, that can act as just a universal pool for everybody to pluck from, which sounds very powerful and probably is. And a second rule, ominous dreams. Any phase, again, Patrice gains a clue token each time a gate opens. She also gains 5 clue tokens when the 9th space on the Ancient One's Doom track is filled. So when we get to 9 on here, Patrice gets a free 5 clues. She has a shitty dream and probably doesn't have a good night's sleep, but hey, we all benefit from it. If anybody is interested in Patrice's backstory, you can read that. She is essentially a musician, a very gifted musician, and her, let's call it artistic sensitivity, may be somewhat involved in certain attentions that she is getting. I will lock this down. We need to then assign her random possessions, and I need to assign her 3 statistics. So let's just do it like this. Let's grab these 5 and we'll just place them here, and let's zoom in so we can see what we're doing. So she gets 1 common item, these. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. We have a safety deposit key. During movement phase, spend 1 movement point and discard this card while in the Bank of Arkham to make a luck -2 check. If you succeed, draw a unique item. If you fail, gain 2 clue tokens. Sure. Seems minor, kind of as a disposable as it is. But sure, we can go to the bank and see what's in the safe. It's either going to be super cool or moderately cool. It does mean that she needs to head in the direction of Bank of Arkham, so we have some direction for her in the early game at least. So that's cool. We have 2 unique items. We have a soul gem. Any phase, exhaust when you defeat a monster to place it on soul gem instead of claiming it as a trophy. During upkeep, discard soul gem and all monsters on it to gain X stamina. X is equal to the total toughness of all monsters on soul gem. We cannot go over our maximum stamina, so essentially I want to, or I could opt to have up to 5 staminas worth of monsters on the soul gem for a free heal during upkeep at the start of a turn. Okay, sure. And petrifying solution. Physical weapon, +8 to combat checks. Oh, but it's disposable. Uses 2 hands, you can see in the bottom corner there. This weapon ignores physical resistance and endless special abilities. I have no idea what endless special abilities are. That is beyond my ken. So she has a weapon, but it's a one-time use. Not ideal, but certainly looks useful. And maybe we can toss that over to someone else. What else? 1 spell. Casting modifier -1, sanity cost 1. It's a magical spell. Any phase, cast and exhaust to gain +6 to combat checks until the end of this combat. Okay, that's decent. Sanity cost is annoying. Unless we can figure out some way to regen her sanity. I won't be making too much use of this, I think. How is she as a spellcaster? 5 lore. That's pretty good. She can cast spells. And what else? And 1 skill. Let's pop the skill down here. See what it is. She is stealthy. Any phase, exhaust to reroll an evade check. So we get 2 evade checks. We get advantage on evade, essentially. Here's Patrice. I've given her a... what colour is that? Is that cyan? Let's just call it blue. And she starts in the curiosity shop. So yeah, when I'm scrolling around like this, I assume your screen right now is just artifacty and horrible and squares everywhere. And then maybe now it has zoomed in and you can actually read the board. So she starts on the curiosity shop. Where is the bank? Just out of interest. It is 1, 2, 3 away. Okay, so there is Patrice. Who else do we have? We have Joe Diamond, the private eye. He starts at the police station. He has $8, doing alright for himself. 3 clue tokens. 1 common item. He starts with a pair of pistols. And he gets as his random possessions 2 commons and 1 skill. Let's grab these. Oops, a daisy. Did not mean to do that. There we go. 2 common, 1 skill. So we did shuffle these. We have kerosene. Any phase, exhaust before making a combat check to gain +4. Upkeep, kerosene does not refresh unless you spend $1. I see. We have to pay cash to keep on using it, otherwise... Yeah, okay. Interesting. Another physical weapon, +1 to combat checks. However, it has +3 if opponent has magical resistance, and +6 if opponent has magical immunity. Huh. That's cool. I like that. Uses up 1 hand. Does this use 1 hand also? So, sure. So you definitely have options should you come up against magical creatures, and you have options if you come up against physical. You're looking at a nice +4 there, +4 there, and then a +4 there, and a +3 or 6. That's decent stats. So you are definitely looking to be a fighter. Let's flip this over if you're interested in Joe's backstory. You can pause and read that. You can lock that in place. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. We have to do stat sliders. So Patrice. Let's just give you 3 and you can head to the bank, assuming there are no other things to be looking at. Let's get you to the bank, let's get your goodies, and then you can start working on stuff. So again, because I'm playing on a computer, I can just copy this and then paste it, essentially. It's very nice. I don't foresee you fighting, but I am reluctant to keep these at the extremities. Having said that, fuck it. Law or luck? Law or luck? Play safe. Keep it somewhere middle-ish. What's your focus? 2. So this allows us to move these. We have 2 movements, so we can move that 1, 2, or we can move that 1, and this 1, etc., etc. While I have that on my copy-paste bar, we need to do Joe's. Joe. Where do you start? You start at the police station, which is... Police station here. We don't have the clue tokens placed, or well, we know are the clue tokens. We don't have the first gate placed yet. Again, I'm just going to keep these middling. We can change them during the initial upkeep, I think. I think you're allowed to do that. So just put you in the middle there. You can go there, seeing as you have a bump anyway, so you're going to have 7. And then let's have your luck higher. Okay. Let's move along to... Oh no, let's place you on the board. What was it? Police station. There you go, Joe. Grab these. Move these over to Mandy. Hi, Mandy. A researcher with... Yeah. Fixed possession, $6. Clue tokens, 4. We have 2 commons, 1 unique, and 1 skill. Let's quickly check out Mandy's backstory. Pause the video if you want to read that. We have 2 commons. Hey! Why are these upside down? I think I may have... Oh dear, that's not good. Okay, this has gone to shit. Why is this not working? I'm trying to select all of you, and you are not. Are you locked? Have I? I know what I did. Oh, you idiot. When I was flipping this one around, I hadn't deselected this. So as I'm over here messing around with Joe's character sheet, these cards over here are getting locked and getting flipped around. You big Dumbo. Unlock, unlock, unlock. Okay, let's flip you all back over. Let's pop you back on there, and then, oops, wrong button. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Sorry about that. What was it? 2 commons? One unique. And 1 skill. Does Joe not start with a skill? Am I being silly there? Did I miss a skill? I did. I missed a skill. I thought I was being silly there. Let's go back to Joe. Joe has some free cash. Every turn he has $2 that he can spend. That is excellent for his kerosene. A lot of nice little synergy there. So we can always, any phase, exhaust instead of, so yeah. So the way exhausting, that gets resourced, exhausted, re-exhausted. It gets awakened. I don't know what the antonym of exhaust would be. So yeah, anyway, it's fairly self-explanatory why that is cool. So what does Mandy have? Mandy has a lucky cigarette case. We can discard to re-roll a skill check. We have a newspaper assignment. Okay, so these are, what is it? Is it tasks and missions? Tasks are simple, missions are a little bit more involved. So we have to, I believe, go to these 3 spots on the board, Arkham Asylum, Witch House, and Newspaper, in that order. We first have to go to Arkham Asylum, then Witch House, then Newspaper. If we do that, then we gain 4 clue tokens and $5. So that's fine. Again, that, if anything, that just allows us to think less about what Mandy should do early game. When we're wondering how to approach the board, Mandy now has some direction. She has a magical weapon. Any phase, exhaust before making a combat check to gain +7. So it's a magical weapon, gives +7 to the first combat of a turn. So if she has to make subsequent combat, she's screwed. But it's a very strong weapon. Okay, I'm super into that. There's a weird weapon also, a fetch stick. I don't know if I'm missing some Lovecraftian lore there. And she's extra lucky. When you spend a clue token to any luck check, we can add a bonus die, and we just have a flat +1 to luck. Cool. And then finally we have Daryl. Hey Daryl. Here's Daryl's backstory. He's a newspaper reporter. Again, pause the video and read that if you wish. He only starts with 1 clue token. He starts with $4. But he does have this retainer. Hopefully at the start of every turn he will gain a free $2. On a 1 to 6 chance each turn that this disappears. 4 sanity, 6 stamina. So he's not going to be great with spells, but he's a little bit tougher than normal. He needs 1 common item and 2 unique items and a skill. Let's again grab these. Just bring. Oh, it's a daisy. Bring these over a little closer, and then we can just top these up here. Was that 1 common? Yes. What do we have? An ancient tome. Exhaust and spend 2 movement points to make a law -1 check. If you pass, draw 1 spell and discard ancient tome. If you fail, nothing happens. So I'm thinking that Daryl may not make use of that. He may try to pass that over to, say, Mandy or Patrice, because I just don't see him being a spellcaster. And 2 unique items. We have an enchanted blade, a magical weapon, +4 to combat. Excellent. Silver key. Put 1 stamina token from the bank on silver key before making an evade check to automatically pass it. Discard silver key after using it if there are 3 stamina tokens on it. Okay, so it's a stamina token from the bank. I was wondering if I had to pay my own stamina tokens. Assuming this is from the physical game, I would be using my own stamina tokens. But that's not. It's stamina tokens from the bank. I think in this situation, the stamina token text is pointless. It's not important. It's just put a token on silver key before making an evade check. So we get 3 free evade checks, if I'm reading that correctly. So if we need to evade, we can automatically pass it, take one of these, plop, and then we get to do that 3 times, and then we have to get rid of it. That's actually really powerful. Yeah, I think we can make good use of that. Maybe because he is good at fighting, this might be better passed over to one of the less able fighty peeps. And let's grab your skill. We are brave. Any phase, exhaust or reroll a horror check. Fantastic. Because I do want Daryl. My base strategy here is for Daryl and Joe to be on cleanup duty, monster killing. I think I'm going to send Daryl into the other realms for reasons that I'll get to in a second. Patrice, I just want you to hoard clues that other people can use. And Mandy's a good all-rounder. I'll just see what we do with Mandy. Pretty much ready to start. In terms of these videos, I will probably keep them to hopefully about half an hour, between half an hour and an hour, whether that be 1 turn per video or 2 turns, depending on how fast it goes. I think we're nearly ready. I want to just quickly go over I forget what these are called now. They're like personal quests, I guess. You can read Patrice's personal quest there. And then in game terms, so we want to go shopping, find some unique items, and then once we have found 2 unique items, we can see what the success is. I haven't actually read these back cards. I don't know if that seems like a complete lie. I assure you it's true. I don't know what the pass result is or the fail result. I actually don't know, because this is the first time I've used these cards. I don't know if these are game changing or just tiny buffs and penalties. So I don't want Patrice to be knocked unconscious or driven insane. I wonder if I'm using the madness and madness and injury deck from Dunwich. I wonder if I don't know if using a madness or insanity, a madness or injury card would negate this fail state. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll look into that when I take a break. So yeah, there's Patrice's personal quest. She wants to grab 2 unique items. Here's Joe's. I believe Joe is indebted to some criminal organization at the lodge, and he has to go find something. So again, in game terms, if Joe's at the Silver Twilight Lodge during upkeep, he can spend 5 toughness worth of monster trophies and a unique item to gain the finish the job status. And if we ever discard a unique item, we get the negative status. So we want to acquire a unique item and kill 5 toughness worth of monsters, then head to Silver Twilight Lodge. Which is fine, because again, Joe is just going to be killing shit on the board. That's his... my brain is not functioning. That is his goal. That's his jam. That's what he's going for. Mandy. Yeah, Mandy's seen some patterns. Something is afoot, and she is not cool with it. So she's determined to check some shit out. Each time a gate is prevented from opening by an Elder Sign token, we get just a token, not necessarily a clue token, just a token on this card. Once there are 5 tokens on this card, we get the success. So we have to prevent 5 gates from opening using Elder Signs. Holy crap. And we have to do that before the terror level reaches 5. That seems rough. And Daryl the reporter. So he's a reporter. He is his equipment is betraying him, it seems. But he feels like he has some proof that he is finally looking for to vindicate him. Daryl needs 2 or more gate trophies, so he has to close 2 gates, which is why I was saying earlier Daryl is going to be heading into gates. He needs these gate trophies, and I don't believe you can trade gate trophies. They are personal rewards that cannot be passed on to another player. Holy crap. The fail state is if Daryl ever has 5 or more clue tokens. So if he ever gains 5 clue tokens, if this number ever reaches 5 or more, we get our fail state for Daryl. Huh. So maybe I just want to keep Daryl away from clues in general, as a rule, and he can just dip into Patrice's pool clue pool is what I was trying to say there. Clue pool. Okay, so there's our game. There's our 4 characters. We are facing Cthulhu. I don't believe I ever heard Cthulhu. I've read some Lovecraft, and I don't believe I've ever come across Cthulhu. So I don't know if this is H.P. Lovecraft's own work. I'm guessing not. I feel like this might be part of the extended lore in the Lovecraftian universe that other people have dipped into. Facing off against Cthulhu, we have our 4 adventurers. Should we set the board up before we end this? I think we should. And place our first... Yeah, we can do the first Mythos phase. So bear with me a second. I probably should have done this before I started. I'm just going to place these clue tokens on the... what are they called? Unstable areas. Clue. 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 And then up in Innsmouth. Clue. 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 And clue. I hope I haven't missed any. I don't think I have. Oh, I know what I apologise for all the things that I'm missing. I need to do the skills for these chaps. And where does Mandy start? Mandy starts at the library, which is here. And Daryl starts at the newspaper. Where is the newspaper? Up here. So, right, and then let's quickly do our sliders. Again, I'm not going to, in the interest of time, actually I want that there, I think. Let's put it there. Speed, let's keep it on 3. Fight. No, let's put that on there. If you're going to get into a fight, I'm worried about the horror checks because you have poor stamina. And let's go for a 2-2 on there. Right then, so everybody has their skills. Everybody's on the board. We have our great old one. We are at 0. So how I'm going to do this is, here is our Mythos deck. And I'm going to pull these to here. So this is our pre-turn 1 Mythos phase to set up. We are going to ignore weather Mythos cards. What do we have? Headline. Sure, let's start at the bottom. We have a gate pop at the unnameable. Is that? No, I was going to say that is a Innsmouth horror, but it doesn't have the Innsmouth horror symbol, so I don't think it is. The unnameable. Where is the unnameable on here? Whoa, oh gosh. Wrong button. Woods, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Graveyard, unnameable. Okay, so we have a gate pop there. The unnameable. So, shuffle this. Grab our first gate. I think the rules state that when you drop these, you can flip it, see what it is. I am not going to do that. I'm going to flip these when we get to them. I don't know why. It's just making my life more difficult, but I feel like it's a bit more thematically interesting. I know there's a gate at this area. I know there's some kind of disturbance, but I don't know whether it goes to a tricky spot or whatever. We'll find out when we get there. This clue token disappears, so I will delete it. What else did the card do? We get a clue appearing at the woods, so I'll just quickly copy that and paste a second clue down here at the woods. Oops. Oh, and a monster spawns here also, doesn't it? What do we have? Amigo. Oop. We have Amigo. It is a circle monster. We don't get it as a trophy, we just get unique items from it. Slightly hard to do your sanity check against, but other than that, slightly hard to evade, but not too difficult to fight. Okay. Was there a special rule for when a gate appears? Was that Patrice? Patrice gains 1 clue token each time a gate opens. Yes. Clue token. While I'm here, we just had a gate open, so +1 on the doom thing. It is a circle, so circles do not move, so it stays where it is. Ooh, is it flying? Is this a flying monster? It's blue. That's flying, right? Flying, flying, flying. Indicated by a blue border, yes. When a flying monster moves during the Mythos phase, it obeys the follow. When a flying monster moves, so this is not moving. So it's only when it moves. But yeah, when this moves, I believe it will either just go here, if there is someone here, or it will go into the sky, and then it will come down anywhere else on the board. So somebody's going to interact with this soon. But not right now. And then there was one final rule for this. Headline: Blue Flu. All investigators in jail are released. No investigators may be arrested until the end of next turn. Leave this card in play until then to indicate this. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's our setup. I will take a look at the board during the break, think about what I want to do, and then I hope you will join me for the next video, where we will actually, believe it or not, start playing. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.